Good morning. It's a great day in Indian River County. This morning, shortly after 7 a.m., the Indian River County Sheriff's Office was notified by Warren County Sheriff's Office in Ohio that our fugitive inmate, Rondell Reed, has been captured. An extended effort, not only by the detectives of the Indian River County Sheriff's Office, the U.S. Marshal's Office, other state and local agencies throughout the state of Florida and throughout the southeast United States, have aided in the capture of Rondell Reed. Detective Stoll and Detective Milo Thornton of the Indian River County Sheriff's Office will be traveling to Ohio today, this afternoon, to be speaking with inmate Reed, and we expect to have inmate Reed in our custody soon in Indian River County. It is our understanding that the automobile that was stolen in Sebastian Wednesday evening was utilized by inmate Reed in his flee. Perhaps an exchange of automobiles in Georgia. We're still looking into that. But we do know that he was apprehended in a different vehicle than the one that he stole in Georgia, in Florida, correction. So with that, I'm open to any and all questions. The detectives of the Indian River County Sheriff's Office have worked tirelessly since Monday morning, early morning and Monday morning. It's been an tiring and investigative week. Dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, of leads have been followed up, and the men and women of this Sheriff's Office were very organized, and with the assistance not only of the community, but of the media, helped capture Rondell Reed. And with that, I'll take any of your questions.
Sheriff Kristen Goodell here, News Channel 5. Can you go ahead and talk to us a little about, we had some information that he was possibly involved in the crash and he himself may have been injured a little bit in Ohio when this happened. Can you give us any details as to how it went down in Ohio?
Don't know all the specifics, but we do know, in fact, in the early morning hours of today, he was involved in an automobile crash on I-75 in the Ohio area outside of Cincinnati in Warren County, and that is where he was apprehended. I'm told that his injuries are minor, but he is in their custody. There are some other charges pending, but we're extremely excited to go find Rondell Reed and bring him back to Indian River County.
Any idea if he was involved in any other sort of crimes en route from Florida to Ohio?
We have some tentative information that he did commit a few crimes on the way to being captured.
Anybody injured in those crimes?
I don't know that information yet.
And we're told that no law enforcement, as far as in Ohio, were injured when they captured him, correct?
That is my understanding, yes.
He was captured in the Lincoln Mark 10. Where did you get that?
We're still looking into that. I don't know all those details specifically.
Did he have anyone with him or was he by himself?
I don't know that information either.
Has he been cooperative? Was there any sort of struggle?
I'm told that he is speaking to detectives and law enforcement in the Ohio area. That is the urgency for us to get our detectives to Ohio.
Was there any sort of police chase before getting him? Was he driving erratically on the highway?
It's my understanding that, in fact, there was some type of police chase leading up to the crash. I'd like for you to have the opportunity to speak to the detectives or the incident commander, Captain Rick Lane, if you'd like to, and the credit belongs to these gentlemen and the ladies that have assisted us throughout this ordeal. The entire week, as you know, has been not only a stressful week, but an exciting week when you look at the coordination and the techniques and the talent that we have and that we deployed. We worked very closely with the media. We had scheduled media breaks. But more importantly, the detectives worked tirelessly, hours upon hours upon hours, and I will tell you that Detective Stoll and Detective Thornton certainly took these cases personal. Detective Stoll followed that case earlier in the year involving Rondell Reed, so he has intimate knowledge about Rondell Reed and is passionate about capturing him. With that, gentlemen, Detective Thornton, Detective Stoll, if you have any questions for them.
Yeah, after all this, what does it feel like to finally get him in custody? Do you think you'd get him this soon?
Step up. We actually hope we get him sooner. It's definitely a relief knowing that he's off the streets.
What was in Ohio, or what was he en route to? Do we happen to know?
He has family in Richmond, Indiana, and I think that's where his ultimate destination was.
How close were you? Were you guys ever like right behind him, right close to him? And he had some lucky brakes, obviously, we found out.
Right. We were with the car. We were about 3 hours behind him when he stole that car. Once he got out of state, unfortunately, the distance grew, and that's where we depended on the U.S. Marshals to get the information from local out nationwide, and with their help, we were able to get the Bolos out with the stolen vehicle and his description throughout the nation.
With the pickup truck that was stolen in Sebastian, that he apparently left this area in, was that ever recovered anywhere?
It has not been recovered yet. We're still trying to get the information on the vehicle he was ultimately arrested with, and we're going to try to backtrack it from there to where this truck may be.
Now, you said there were a few different crimes. Are there any specifics of what ones he committed, I guess, on the way over there?
They're still interviewing him in Ohio, so we don't have any of the specific details. We do know that he was on some sort of crime spree, but I cannot tell you any specifics as to what they were.
The vehicle that he was in, had it been reported stolen, and how they came onto it?
It was my understanding the officer in Warren, Ohio, got in behind the stolen vehicle and attempted to initiate a traffic stop in which the pursuit occurred, and then the ultimate wreck.
Did he know that was Rondell behind the wheel?
I can't answer that without talking to the deputy.
How long until he actually is back in Indian River County, do we think at this point?
That's up to extradition and the state attorney's office and what happens with the Ohio charges. I can't answer that.
How helpful has the community been in this? You guys have been saying the whole time, they're your eyes and ears, getting all these tips.
We've gotten a lot of leads, a lot of tips, a lot of information from the community, which we've been trying to follow up. Unfortunately, the information coming back is usually a little bit older than the immediate, so by the time we get to the follow-up, it doesn't lead us anywhere.
Were there any robberies reported that may be attributed to him along the way? He's gone quite a ways from Florida all the way up to Warren, Ohio. How did he get there? Where did he get the resources?
Well, again, that's going to depend on what Rondell Reed tells us. Until we speak to him, we can get a timeline and a direction of his travel. We can backtrack based and search robberies, car thefts, gas drive-offs, and so on. Until we have that information, there's no way for us to know specific answers.
Have you spoken to any of his families that in the community?
I've been communicating with them throughout the escape. I have not talked to them today.
Do you think they knew he was coming?
I think they had the suspicion based on what they're talking that he would be heading that way.
How tricky or how clumsy was this guy?
Rondell Reed is very smart. I'll give him credit. He's not a stupid crook. He's very good at auto theft. It's kind of what he did growing up. And he knows how. I mean, he stayed on the run for a week, so he's not ignorant.
But he also left trails behind, so.
Anybody's going to leave a trail behind, you know. It's just a matter of identifying that trail.
Now that he's been caught and he's going to be brought back to Indian River County Jail, what will be done to help ensure that he doesn't break out again?
Step up the mic. The Indian River County Jail has been hardened again, not only after the immediate escape, but continuing through this week. And I can assure the residents of Indian River County that this incident will not happen again under my command.
Any chance that you guys could possibly move him to a different facility, or is he definitely going to stay here?
He will be staying here awaiting his trial.
Will he be in a cell by himself, or will he also have a roommate?
He will not have a roommate.
What types of charges are we looking at now for him?
Well, obviously, we have warrants for escape out of Indian River County. I'm certain there'll be other charges in the other jurisdictions throughout the crime spree. But as important, we will obviously be pursuing the follow-up on the first-degree murder charge that he's in on now.
Does Indian River County then have precedence with him, or do they trump other law enforcement agencies given the crimes that may have occurred on his?
Ours are the most significant charges that are pending, and we'll be working with the prosecuting offices throughout the region.
Sheriff Loar, I understand from your press releases that they sawed through some bars to escape the jail. Has anybody determined what kind of tool they used to saw through those bars and where they may have gotten it?
That's the secondary investigation that's being conducted as we speak, and once all of that information is derived, I will be sharing that information with you.
Any more questions?
To your knowledge, he hasn't hurt anybody along the way that you know of?
We don't know for certain on that one. I did want to mention Sergeant Kent Campbell, who also was very, very integral in this investigation, in leading and guiding the detectives on the case, as well as some of the field deputies on the street. Did an outstanding job, so must be recognized.
Would they be
As you know, throughout the week, not only have we talked to families and friends and acquaintances of Levi as well as Rondell, but more specific, the two young ladies that were arrested for aiding and abetting Monday night in Levi, that information and those charges were brought forward through Detective Thornton's efforts. Thank you for your time.